Okay, so we'll begin our work session with Gary Keel.
Thank you, sir. I feel like I need to introduce myself. It's been so long since I've seen y'all. So, update on some things today. Paving update. Rogers Group is going to come 1st of June. Okay, so we're a little over a month out from those guys getting here to start our stuff. As a reminder, we are doing our full, what we call our Palmer process of cement stabilization. We're having fantastic results. We're doing so much more than we've ever done. 4 days last week, we got about 1.5 miles of roadway done, which is just unheard of in this process from what we used to do. The cement tanker, we've got it fully operational. Can't thank y'all enough for that. It's so efficient, so much better. We're running back and forth to Decatur getting these loads. I don't remember how many, I had counted last week how many loads we've already put down. Last year, we were paying $1,200 a load in delivery. And so in a couple months, we're gonna have this trailer pay for it. So I mean, it's working out really good. And so I would really like in the near future though, to get you guys on site to let you see this process. It is very impressive. It's technical. The guys have owned it. I can't say enough about how proud I am of the men. Men and women, they've both, everyone out there has really kind of owned it. And because to be honest, it was like, hey, I took this idea to them, hey, this is how we're gonna do things, but we got some stuff we gotta figure out. And the guys have just really took to that. And so they took a lot of pride in it. They've learned a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff. We've called people all over the country asking questions that we know that trust this process already, and it's been great. It's setting up, it's doing really good. So, but I would like to get with you guys, get you out. We're in the West End right now, so in the near future we get you guys out, and as we start working to the east, we'd be glad to get y'all on site, which is it's really impressive. The next thing, we had talked about 6 weeks ago about the Elk River boat ramp. We finally got back, TVA got back with us on that. TVA is willing to, they're willing to actually build the ramp itself for us with their own accounts. The way their process works, you can imagine they're kind of a little bit slow. And so it would probably be a 2 or 3 year process for those guys, but they are willing to put it into their maintenance cycle and do that. Their question to me was, what do you guys want to provide? And they said, do you want to provide trash pickup to the site? Would you like to offer to mow the grass at the site?
What do they require us to do here?
They don't require anything, but I think what we provide will probably change how long it takes for them to get to the project.
Okay, so we're cutting Elk River in Anderson Creek and Second Creek right now. So we have that contracted, so that wouldn't be a big deal. What about?
It ain't gonna be much to cut. If you want my recommendation, this site is actually bigger than it appears. It's still not very big, but it's got a lot of trees, kind of some undergrowth and stuff that's in there. In our conversation with TVA, he said that they could probably mark the boundary for us. I thought maybe we could offer to go in there initially and maybe open the boundaries up as best as possible, like clear out some of that privet and a few of those small trees, which would open that up. If they'll do the ramp, I think a very fair thing for us to offer would maybe be to gravel that parking lot. It wouldn't cost us a whole lot. I mean, we've already get that material at a great cost anyways. And the heavy lifting would be on the ramp itself. And then if you guys want to do grass and trash,
Well, I think you got to do grass. Somebody's got to do grass. They're not going to do it.
And it's not going to be much grass.
And it's not. Yeah. I mean,
It's just down where you're talking.
Yeah, down at the end of 92. They're in that sharp curve.
Okay.
91.
Most of that's private back up this way.
Do what, Tom?
Most of that's private property. I looked it up. Somebody else owns it, opening
The boat ramp? I mean, we're
it.
going
On that gravel part, up the, where the grass is.
Yeah, it's all kind of sandwiched between there.
Well, I mean, do you have access to it?
So they would mark their part?
Well, here's the thing, y'all. Once we get the ramp in, we don't really care. I mean,
It's going to stay open once you get to ramp in.
Yeah.
It'll have enough traffic in there, and it wouldn't be a big deal for us to go in there and just kind of open that up. Now, what I don't want is to get into any kind of property dispute with, because there is some stuff that's questionable. I mean, you drive right past that guy's garage going in there. But if TVA marks it and says, these are the lines, and and I would, if it's on the line, I wouldn't be touching it. But I'm talking about stuff that's obvious, undergrowth. We would probably see if we could borrow the solid waste department's skid steer with that mulching head. It does a really good job on stuff like that. And so just go in there and clear that thing up, open it up. And if it took, a few loads of gravel to get in there and kind of just get a good surface down, it wouldn't be a major project for us. And so it would probably be something good for us to do in the winter. We could probably get that done. Because I would say 18 months for them at the earliest. So, but I think if we do this, that sweetens the deal about as good as I would.
Who does our more interior stuff?
So if y'all like, I can kind of offer that to them, and we'll see where they go. So, thank y'all for that. Next thing, we had one of our road graders basically has to have 4 new brake packs, which I've learned a lot about motor grader brakes in the last couple weeks. Motor graders don't use brakes like my stuff uses, not like a vehicle and not like a normal tractor. These brake packs, they explained it to me, it's almost like its own little transmission. It's a very complex unit per brake, and all 4 of the brake units went out on this machine, and so they're about $10,000 a piece. So it's a $40,000 repair for just the brakes, and then there was some final drive stuff they had too. It was about $7,000. So our entire bill on this was $45,985, and so it's a 5-year-old grader. I mean, it's a machine we have to get fixed. But as Brooke and I were talking, part of this conversation is, when do y'all want to see this routine? I mean, we get stuff maintained all the time, and this one is a little bit unique because it's Sourcewell, so it doesn't have to be bid. It's just routine stuff. Now, when we have to bid stuff, that's a little bit different. I mean, that has to come through you guys, but just so that Brooke and I can be as efficient as we can be. If y'all just kind of let us know, like, what if there's a threshold or something that y'all want to see them, we'll do whatever you wish.
Let me give you my 2 cents on that, Eric, and this is only me. I'm not speaking for another commissioner here. I want you to abide by whatever law. If you have a maintenance budget, correct?
Yes.
Then I want you to maintain your equipment. As far as for me, I don't need to know that. You just, if something's got to be bid, you bid. If something needs to be fixed and it's under bid, then you fix it. I mean, is there anything else you can do here?
That's what's so odd about, especially like Caterpillar, certain brands like Caterpillar especially, you don't want anybody else working on it, right? I mean, that's the beauty of a Sourcewell contract as well, is because it kind of keeps it contained. So you can't get some rogue dealer that just wants to charge you exorbitant prices. And so I mean, I feel like we're protected by that. And of course, it's fully legal because it's under that Sourcewell. And so pickup trucks are one thing, because you can have multiple mechanics, but like a Caterpillar motor grader is pretty specialized. So we don't have it.
Have you had those packs go out, packs or whatever go out?
And this is the only grader we've ever had to do
And to
this.
lose 4.
Mm-hmm. They said they were just shot, and he just thought, the brakes are getting weak on it, and they said they're just shot. We checked, it is not under warranty anyway, so this machine's actually out of warranty. It's about $5,000.
So that doesn't put you over any budget items anywhere like that, right? I think that's probably a good topic, but as long as you're within your budget, and Brooke's watching it, then we see it at the report that we get. I'm sort of leaning like him. I think where we probably lose sight sometimes when I think if I'm replacing brakes on my F-150, right, versus what you're doing, it's a huge cost difference. But it's a normal wear and tear of doing business, staying within your budget, and then the oversights would probably hurt, and then we see it at the next meeting. Chris, is that?
Just so y'all know my internal process, the way I think about it. If we're talking about, like, I know a couple years ago, we put a new motor in that old D7 dozer we got. you know, and it's not something we use every day. It's something we need, you know, and it's, let's say it's a $75,000 project, and it's like, should we or should we not? You know, I would like to bring that to y'all and get your thoughts on that. But that's not routine maintenance, you know, this kind of stuff's just routine. I mean, I need the machine.
So Eric, I agree with Roger as far as it's your maintenance line item. You're gonna spend it in a way that you can get the most out of it. I would probably give the office a call and just say, hey, we're getting ready to spend $45,000.
For sure, and out of respect, Ms. Slatton in her office, so we would definitely do that. We, you know, in my brain, that's about a $25,000 number. You know, that feels, repairs are getting pretty serious over $25,000. Unfortunately, now, under $25,000 is so common, it's wild how many $10,000, $15,000 repairs, not just for salt, simple stuff, but, well, thank y'all for that. The next thing is an issue we've talked about for a while, we finally have a resolution on, that's the County Road 153. Kyle Beavis had contacted some of you guys about the possibility of closing off that road down at the old rock crusher and Grassy there where that road comes in. And if you recall, we have an old pony truss bridge there that's been closed since longer. It was closed before I got here. It's been abandoned, and in our office, we had a memory of there being some type of historical star beside that bridge, thinking that we were supposed to keep it up, or not keep it up, but like keep it, basically. Several of the guys that have been here a long time kind of remembered that, and we scoured our files. We couldn't find anything. We contacted SHPO, talked to those guys. They scoured their files. They said after all their research, they don't find any documentation that says that it has to be, it's not historic, it doesn't have to be preserved. And actually, we even found this later today, a note in the bridge file that basically kind of officially documented from years ago that it is not on the historic register. So it's just iron in the woods right now. And so with that being said, it's took us a long time to get to that. When you're dealing with SHPO, that's pretty common. You know, if you guys would like to vacate that, I think that would be great. It's abandoned. The public is driving around this old bridge now, making their own way. We don't maintain the creek crossing that's there. If the property owners, just really two property owners really, if they would like to vacate this, what I would recommend is, I could talk with Mr. Beavis, I know him, and ask him and the other property owner, you know, a bridge is a little bit different than a road. You know, if it's just a road, we split it down the middle, we give half and half. Well, I don't know how you split a bridge. That feels a little weird to me. I don't know that that's as clean as I want it to be by saying, you know, well, what if one guy decides he wants to tear his half down? You know, I don't know how that would work. So I would like to talk to the property owners and see, do they want the structure? Hopefully they don't. I would even say we could just tear it down, and then tear it down, assuming that they're going to vacate it, and then vacate it, give them the property, and actually print some maps of that. Maybe out there, just kind of give you a.
What's that bridge made out of?
Steel. It's a pony truss, so it's got the.
Yeah.
They're
What about if we donate it? Does the county own it right now?
who we want.
Maybe somebody with a walking trail?
I mean, for something like that, I think that'd be appropriate. I would think Mr. Smith would probably not want us to give it to anybody that would ever want to put traffic on it. I mean, it's not,
As far as vehicle.
yeah, structurally, I'd be scared of that. But yeah, for a walking trail, I think that'd be appropriate.
I don't know if that's something the Ag Authority might be interested in or not.
I mean, like I said, to us, it has no value. It's not on our, it's actually so old, because that was another concern I had. I thought, oh goodness, this thing could have value. It's so old, it's not even on our records. Like it didn't have any value in our books. You can see where I kind of pinned in where that little bridge is. It actually shows the stream away from it, but right there under the 153 in Lauderdale County 153, that's where the actual bridge is. I think the next part of this is if the property owners would like to proceed with this, is how far they want to go back, because there's nothing out there. And so, y'all know me, if I can get rid of maintenance of a road, I'm all for it. So, you know, I would say I would be good with any, as far back as they want to go, giving them back.
What's the span of it?
I'd have to check.
Roughly?
Oh, it's,
You're the long
from here to that wall.
Okay. 30, 40 feet?
I can get you a good number on that.
Would look good somewhere.
So if y'all are okay with that, I could talk with Mr. Beavis and just see if that's something that he and the other property owner, the other property owners, Mr. Trousel, owns the other side, and if they can come into agreement. But I mean, for us, I don't see any disadvantage to, I think in maybe his original request, he was really asking just to close that off, like for us just to gate that off or whatever, but I really would recommend that we vacate it and let the property owners gate it, fence it as they wish. Because just knowing that layout out there, you would have so much money invested in guardrail. Because if you put a section length of this room, they just go around it. So you'd have to do it a lot. So fencing, I think, would be a better option for the property.
So this is vacating 153
Yes.
from just this point forward, or?
Yes, so basically from that intersection there with County Road 500, from there back, and I would say back as far as the property owners requested. There's ag fields on both sides, and there's no, like I said, these guys on both sides, so there's really no other access out there. Well, if you guys would just kind of let me know how y'all want to proceed on that, then I'd be glad to contact Mr. Beavis. Next thing I've got, speaking of bridges, in the storms about a month ago, we had a bridge on County Road 176, which is up in the Pine Hill area. Dirt road, low traveled road, road washed out during one of those floods. There's 2 existing metal pipes in the roadway. I may have sent some of y'all pictures of this road washed out. After inspection, which is typically how this works, after inspection, when you go out there, you can actually see the pipes because they're exposed, and the drop-off was, this deep. And when you got out there, the bottoms of these pipes are just completely rusted out. It's a good reminder of why we don't use galvanized steel, okay, thin galvanized steel. So when we looked at replacing this, of course, anytime we look to replace, we look at modern design. Okay, is the structure big enough now? No, it's not. If it had been appropriately sized, it wouldn't have washed out. So we looked at the sizes it needs. And the box culvert that would need to go in there, you're probably looking at $200,000. And it's really hard for me to come to y'all and ask for $200,000 for a dirt road that has very little traffic on it. There's one house on the end, but it's really access from both ends, from the other roads. So looking at other options, we've talked about this for years, we've just never done it. We can get old railroad tank cars. They are 9-foot diameter pipes. They are between a 1/2 and 3/4 inch steel. They're not galvanized, don't think roofing, and 1/2 to 3/4 inch steel. They're a big wall pipe. They're very widely used around the country. There's companies in the Midwest that sell them. We can get, those are about $13,500 a piece, that we'd need 2 of them. Our plan would be to put them side by side. We would drive rebar, before we started, we would drive rebar vertical in the creek bed, very deep. We would put the pipes in. We would have to get a crane, which I called today. I cannot believe the crane was only going to be about $3,000. Blew my mind. About an 80,000 pound crane. I was expecting it to be a lot more. So we would set both pipes beside each other with the rebar between them. We would let our welder weld horizontal rebar between the 2 pipes, which would tie them vertically. They'd have the vertical split steel, and then we would lay some rebar horizontal with the pipes themselves, and then we would fill the gap between them with concrete. Just doing this for a long time, I know how hard it is when you put 2 pipes in a creek. It's hard to keep it from washing in the middle. The other thing is when those 2 pipes are beside each other, this area down here, you can't compact it. It's just almost impossible. You just can't get in there. But concrete don't need compacting. So it would take care of that. And we think probably $5,000 in concrete. We'd never have to worry about that washing out again. We'd have a good structure. I'm going to guess $50,000. That's conservative for the total project. And it's something we actually have to do. And we've got that limp together back there, but it's not a long-term solution what we have right now. So I I want to run that past y'all.
Do they cut the ends of them off?
They do. They would be ready. They're 40. The market's kind of changes on them all the time depending on what's available at the time. But when I checked a couple weeks ago, 45 feet length, I believe, which would be plenty. There's not a lot of cover on these. Now, if we'd had a lot of cover, that would have been tight. But for about 45 feet in length, and like I said, they're 9 foot. So just as a reminder, 20 foot is the magic number on bridges. Anything over 20 feet has to be registered to the national inventory, which means it has to be inspected annually, which also means it's a lot trickier on a structure like this. But 2 9-footers that are touching in the middle, we'd be 18, 19 feet, we'd be under that. So I think it'd be a home run for us. So it's a little different than what we've always done. Now, let me say this, we have a lot of tankers in this county from years past. I don't know how they got there. I just know we've got some pipes I can walk through that are round culverts. And so those things hold up. I mean, they're a long-term solution. So I will not be the county engineer anymore when these things need to be replaced. When they start rusting through, you won't have to worry about it. Yeah. So if y'all are okay with that, we're going to look into that a little bit more, and I'll get with Ms. Slaton on budget stuff, and I think we're okay on that, but it's something from an emergency standpoint we have to do. Last thing I've got, one last bridge issue. Not great news. Our Happy Hollow inspection didn't come back good. We haven't got that final report yet, but there's a chance that's going to be a 3-ton bridge, and that's a big deal. That'll be a big deal. We already have a major issue out there now. We cannot keep the trucks off of it. We just can't. I don't know what else to do. I mean, we've got signs from Lauderdale to Florence, it feels like, telling them you can't drive a truck on it. You know, we've got, I know the state troopers by name that do weight restriction. St. Florine says they keep an eye on it. And like even when our inspectors were out there inspecting the bridge, they said, man, they'll knock you off the bridge by letting trucks coming through there. If we go to a 3-ton bridge, we may have to be, I'm going to use the word dramatic a little bit. We may have to go as far as building structures before the bridge that will not allow trucks to get on the bridge. That's a big statement, because I don't like making things that don't move, but I'm telling you, there's some stuff going on in that bridge. It does not need trucks on it. It just does not need trucks.
Do they do that structure, pre-structure somewhere else? Because that seems like an accident waiting to happen.
I know some counties in Alabama that have done similar things, but I think they were in-house. I would have to look at that. I don't know that there's an official product. I don't know if there's an official product. But I'll say this, we would be in a world of hurt if that bridge had to be closed.
Yeah.
6,000 cars a day. I mean, it's...
Well, and we're kind of waiting to finish 72, correct? So we don't have
Yeah,
everything blocked.
our stuff is ongoing for the design, but I mean, still, we don't have a funding source for the actual construction, and because it's that scope of project. I mean, even if we open the checkbook and push the pedal down, I don't know that you could get that bridge designed in 24 months. I mean, it's just think County Road 16. I mean, you just got hurdles that they make up in Washington. So I'm not trying to be Chicken Little here, and we haven't got the reports yet. But I wanted y'all to know that if we go to 3 tons, we're going to have to be very drastic about something, because what we're doing is not working, and I don't know what else to do on these trucks. I just don't know what else to do. And our inspector, that's exactly what he said. He said it's the balancing of the trucks. One of the piers underneath has got a diagonal crack on it that they're afraid could shear off, and so and it would be from that, just that balancing. So, but I was trying to think if I had a good joke or something. Right? I don't like to end on a bad note, but it is what it is. So, other than that, everything's good. I'll get with y'all and we'll try to get out on this Palmer situation.
Thank you.
Anything else for it? All right, Tom?
Sir. Hey, just got a couple of things. Just quickly,
We hope to open Brush Creek Park up Friday. We've worked down there all last week in the rain, and we hauled debris out of there today. So hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll open it up Friday. We'll publicize that when we decide to. The only other thing was, we got a couple of holidays coming up, and I was gonna run something by you to see if y'all are interested in doing this, what we did last year. For Memorial Day, we closed the landfill on that Saturday and gave everybody a 3-day holiday. And that way, I mean, they still got to come back the next Saturday and work. So we publicized it. That's what we did last year and had no problems with it. The other one was 4th of July. It's on a Friday this year. Some of the guys, if we take the 4th of July off, then we got to come back and work that Saturday. So what they want to do is just work a half day on Friday and then just be off Saturday and Sunday. They can pick everything up that way. Nothing's backed up. Everything stays on schedule. So.
This is the whole picking up trash and everything?
Yes, sir. That would be the whole thing. Cause that would be, we would close the landfill at 1 on that Saturday. They'd be through picking up trash by 1 and have everything loaded. So they still get, and that way we don't have to come back on Saturday and do it. So.
I would probably say too, just my thought is check with Brooke. Let's, maybe you and Tom talk, make sure that does it, for the rest of the departments too, be consistent. But I get it if that's a work issue, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the big thing is we'd have to come back on Saturday and, we'd have to work that Saturday, just pick up that Friday stuff. So we're just trying to make it consistent so we wouldn't throw everything behind. So, but I'll get with her and make sure everything's okay. So, and that's all I got.
Anything else, Tom? Okay, thank you. Brad?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be quick. You should have some documentation in your packet today. It's the final reimbursement request for the CDBG grant. So that's from the COVID money from 2019. So we're closing that grant out. You should have that signature and we'll get that back to NACOG, do the closeout meetings and be done with that. We are hot and heavy into our exercise season. So just to let you guys know where we are and what we've been doing. So we worked on the UNA emergency operations plan with their administration last week. Also worked with NAMC and Keller on their surge exercise last week. We did UNA nursing, mass casualty incident today. On Wednesday, if you hear about additional boat traffic on Wilson Lake, we're partnering with U.S. Coast Guard and TVA to do an exercise with some of the barges that are out there that are held up anyway. Browns Ferry Nuclear Plant. Tabletop is on Wednesday, and then the full exercise is coming up in June. And then we have safety days scheduled with Lauderdale County High School and Wilson High School. Wilson will be this Friday, and LCHS will be next Wednesday, so we'll have staff out there as well. The siren repairs that the commission approved, we're still waiting on a couple of parts for that, but right now they are scheduled for the first week in June to have all of those sirens, and that includes the 3 additional sirens. Did have some incidents today with an individual whose chain was dragging going down Highway 20 and then out Gunnerford Road. So we had 7 wildfires that started from that. But Oakland Fire Department, Florence Fire Department, and our office got that taken care of pretty quickly. And then we will start the end of this month with dispatcher training on the new CAD program for 911, and then hope to have it fully implemented by the first week in July. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Chris?
Just awaiting word on, or from Attorney Bates, which should be this week, first of the week, after he meets with the Chancellor on the proposed workforce development lease with Northwest Shoals and Community College System. Also should hear back this week from Attorney Taylor Brooks on initial discussions on possible lease for Florence Board of Education, same location. Other than that, I'm working on all the other issues with no report due.
Chris? Okay, we'll let the department heads go. Brooke?
I just had a few things, like items that in your packet, just so that y'all have time to look over it. One is their rentals, the price for the largest and the smallest building that you have. Plus, it also has in there what people are currently agreeing to and how sheet that told what we currently are doing, and then the smaller blocks kind of what we're suggesting doing. Several of us have talked about it, I haven't talked to the department heads about it, and I can make it bigger so that you can read it better. But it's just taking out some of the busy and redundant stuff. Then on the security system, we got 2 quotes back, where we would redo the security cards coming into this building and the ones over in the other building. One was 27,000, one was 37,000, that's what y'all wanna do. And then on the RSVP, I've got his letter that he sent, as well as the bi-weekly activity report, where he's asking for an additional funding of $20,000 from the county commissions. Just so that y'all can kind of look over it, think about it before the next meeting. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody got anything here? Okay, let's go away to 5 o'clock.